Hey beautiful people, David Essery here. I wanted to do something a little bit different today. Some of you may be aware, for a while now I've been offering a service where I can do a channeled soul geometry for people. What this basically involves is, all I ask from you guys is kind of like a name, your birth name, and a photo of you, and then I can connect to your energy and I can channel a message. This often can be from an angel, from an ascended master, sometimes people's own guides, all sorts of things, whatever's relevant, and a message comes through to help them on their journey. Along with that, I channel a geometric image and I create a nice piece of artwork, and you get a print with it. And I've had some amazing feedback from doing it. It's been such a genuine pleasure to do this. It's something that I really love to do. And I don't really talk about it that much because the nature of it is that it's quite a private, intimate thing that I do for people, so I don't want to share that information. However, last week, well actually for the last few weeks now, I've been going through some particular scenarios myself, some particular challenges. This eclipse season is bringing up some stuff for me, some very, very old stuff. And I sat down the other day to tune into my team, my guides, just for a little bit of guidance. And out of nowhere, I just started drawing. Wasn't expecting to, wasn't planning to, but it happened. And I ended up receiving a geometry for myself, which was then followed up by a message. And I hope this comes across on this channel, but I've always been, I've tried to be as open about myself and where I am on my path. I was very much going through the exact same experiences as you guys. Just because I'm up here talking about it doesn't mean that I'm not boots on the ground going through the exact same situations. I'm affected by all of the moons, by all of the flares. I've got my own stuff, my own past life trauma coming up, and the stuff that I talk about on this channel is all from my personal experience because I'm going through it too. I've never talked about anything that I haven't experienced myself. I just teach, I talk through my own personal experience. And also, I'm a firm believer in the strength of vulnerability. If we are going to change this world, it's important that we can stand up and be open and honest about ourselves and what we're going through. So I thought it seemed like a perfect opportunity, really, that I can sit here today and talk a little bit about my recent experiences and share with you basically my soul geometry, my message, because there's actually some good wisdom in there, which I think could help a lot of people. I think it'd be useful, and I can show you my artwork and just talk about that a little bit more. So, in particular for me, this last month or so, a lot of stuff has happened. There was some things that I was expecting to happen, that I've been waiting for, and including timelines and everything, and there was a lot of certainty around it, and it didn't happen. And I felt very betrayed because of this, very let down, very disappointed, and it had a bit of an impact on my trust with my team, with my guides, and in particular with myself, because I was so sure this thing was going to happen. And I've spoke to quite a few other people in this same sort of field since doing that, and a lot of them have had a very similar experience, and it seems to be quite a big initiation actually when you're on this path. So I'm kind of thinking it may be something that some of you guys have been through too. But actually, the reality of the situation was when I spoke to, in particular, Melchizedek about it once I'd settled down a little bit, what he said to me was that there had been times in the past, in the darker ages on this earth, where they weren't able to intervene as much as they can do right now. The energy was different. And I personally have lived many, many lives of service. Whether that's as a priest, a monk, a shaman living in the forest, a Templar, all these different things, lifetime after lifetime I have worked in service to God. And many of those lifetimes, because of the darker days of things, I didn't meet the best of ends, shall we say. And I felt an awful lot of betrayal because of that, because I felt like I should have been protected, I should have been looked out for. But the reality of the situation is that back in those days, they weren't able to step in so much. And they're not even always, when things are meant to be, things are meant to be. But the situation that I went through recently, essentially, I had to go through it because all of this stuff was buried so deep within me, and I had to bring it up to the surface so that I could release it. And I had to go through, thankfully, not quite such an extreme situation as I have done in some of my past lives, but I had to have that experience where I felt let down in order to draw this stuff up to be released. So I'm really grateful for the situation now. I feel like it was a really positive step, and I'm feeling stronger and better and moving forward, more connected and better than I have done in a long time. So I'm really, really grateful for this situation. Everything happens for a reason. I'm a firm believer in that. But a couple of other things I was facing in this last week or so, I wanted to just get a bit more guidance from my team. This trust thing is a big factor in that, and something that I've still been working through. And that's very much what came through in this message. But I felt it might be useful to some of you guys today, so I wanted to share that with you in the interest of openness and honesty. So this is what they said. It was from Archangel Chamuel, actually, who stepped through for me. It said, "Beloved son, you speak of trust, but lack the trust of your own heart. You look for confirmation from the outer when you should look to the inner. There you will find that you already hold everything you need in order to fulfill your every goal. If you cannot trust in us, then trust in yourself. Trust that you are capable of performing every task at such a level that others shall naturally be drawn to your resonance. Trust that you are capable of manifesting all that you require to fulfill your earthly tethers. Simply place yourself in a situation to receive, then allow it to flow. Universal law will dictate the rest. There are earthly factors that disquiet your mind and lead you down the wrong path. It is of the utmost importance that you limit this wherever possible. Purify thyself and draw out that which brings disharmony, and you shall find the clarity that you desire. As for us, we stand at the ready to support your needs, but know that we are directed by you at every frequency. The role of the subconscious is what retracts that permission your conscious mind grants. Purify oneself and take back control of the mind, and divine flow shall be restored. Yours in ever-loving regard, Archangel Chamuel." So there's a lot of wisdom in this message, and I just want to break that down a little bit. So they started off saying, I trust lack the trust of my own heart. I look for confirmation from the outer when you should look to the inner. And this is something that I talk about a lot, actually. It's about knowing the strength of your own heart, knowing the power within. Because the reality is that we are capable of doing anything. We forget that a lot of time. It's very easy for us to say, oh, I can't do that. I need help with that. I need the angels to do that for me, or whatever it is. But we create the world around us. The power of our mind, which we'll go into more in a moment, is capable of drawing to us whatever we need. Instead of looking to the outside world and for other people to fix our problems with, we need to come back to our centers. And that, I had a really good conversation with Tim Wild about this the other day. That this is the year of self-reliance, that we have to learn to trust ourselves, to develop our own abilities. Because, the reality of the energies now, since we went through that solstice of December, the frequency on planet Earth now is so high. We are manifesting at an unbelievable rate. And we've essentially got a choice. We can manifest what we want or what we don't want. And a lot of the don't want thing is subconscious. That's what he said later on. He said, bear with me a second, just find it. The role of the subconscious is what retracts that permission your conscious mind grants. So it doesn't, you can be here and you can be asking for help, for support in different areas. But if there's that, and what a lot of this comes down to is kind of lack of self-love, whether you really, truly, deeply feel worthy for something. It's very easy for us to say, oh yes, I'm worthy of this, I want this, give it to me, whatever it is. But if there's that little niggling voice at the back of your mind that maybe you can't even hear, but it's just there, repeating an old pattern, saying, oh, you don't deserve this, or it won't work out, or it's always been this way, whatever it is, that subconscious pattern can override the conscious one. and, as he said, retract the permission that your conscious mind grants. And that's what we're working through now, is really overcoming the challenges of the mind. Which just leads me on to one of the other things that he said. There are earthly factors that disquiet your mind and lead you down the wrong path. It is of the utmost importance that you limit this wherever possible. Purify thyself and draw out that which brings disharmony, and you shall find the clarity you desire. Now, I know exactly what that means for me, because I received this message the day after finding out that, unfortunately, I'm allergic to chocolate. I know, right? Brutal. But I wasn't aware of it. I have no physical, obvious symptoms. It's not like I come out in a rash or my throat closes or anything like that. But actually what it does for me is it triggers my nervous system. And I know, for many of you out there, pretty much all workers, we face challenges with our nervous systems. And when we get into that state, whether we get into fight or flight or freeze or whatever it is, it makes us agitated, it makes us stressed, and it makes it much more difficult to really focus the mind on the stuff that we know. The other side of that coin is, for me in particular, I've unfortunately lived in a couple of homes recently, and have even been facing challenges in this beautiful home this last week of detoxing, having toxic scenarios around us. And it's overburdened my liver, and it's something I'm working on healing. But sometimes if I'm clearing something in particular, or if I don't eat very well, maybe if I eat some slightly too fatty foods or something like that, my liver gets a bit unhappy. And again, emotionally, that leads you to stress, frustration, which again disquiets the mind and can change your thought patterns to think in ways that, when you're on a good day, you wouldn't perhaps think in. And then, of course, you go into a downward spiral of thinking the wrong things, and because we're manifesting at such an unbelievable rate, you then of course are in a danger of manifesting those things that you don't want. So as he says, we're just going to find it, purify thyself and draw out that which brings disharmony, and you shall find the clarity that you desire. So for me, it's cutting out chocolate. It's being a bit more careful about what I eat if I'm perhaps going through like a detox state at that time, just so that I can take back control of my mind. And then of course the overriding thing that he's talking about is just trusting in my own abilities. Just rounding back on that again, trust that you're capable of manifesting all that you need, that you require. Trust in your own abilities, trust in your own strength, in your own power, because you have it. You are amazing. You are a divine manifestation of God. We just forget this. Stick it on a post-it note, keep it around you, whatever you need. Do a mantra every single day. I have one of our money mugs that helps reinforce that for me, that I drink out of every day, just to help kind of reinforce these things. So anyway, that's my message. That hopefully gives you a bit of an idea, with the soul geometry message as well, the kind of thing that you might receive. Of course, the messages are very, very personal, individual, and they are often due around a kind of a particular scenario that perhaps someone is going through, just like mine is here, or sometimes even about life path kind of type stuff. I really don't know when I sit down to do them, and it's incredible what comes through sometimes. It's absolutely fascinating. Now, the second half, of course, of the soul geometry is the geometry itself. And so I just want to share that with you, my particular artwork that I created for me. Just get this up on the screen. Now, typically I will do these as a landscape sideways image, because it's me doing it for myself, and the particular artwork, the geometry that came through was much more vertical, and actually I've got a good space in my wall for a portrait image. I did it this way. If I do a soul geometry for you and you particularly want a portrait one, though, message me, because that can always be done. That's not an issue at all. So this particular geometry is here to support me in trusting myself and trusting my own abilities and trusting that I'm capable of doing everything that I need to. And I see this, this connection is happening actually above my highest self, above my soul. I can see this from the circle at the very bottom of the semicircle. Often I see that at the top in a geometry, and this particular one is at bottom, which means the connection, the working area is happening above that. That says to me that this is about trusting in my monad, my highest version of myself, my God self, and drawing that to me. We see this vertical line going up the middle with the arrows at the top. This is about drawing my energy upwards and connecting that with that. The break in the middle denotes the fact that there is an issue there, this trust issue that I'm working for, in order to fully restore that connection. Obviously, I have that connection. It's not broken. It's not there. I use it every single day. But I can strengthen that connection by learning this initiation of trust with myself. There is a code in there in the bottom right corner, which is about transmission, about receiving information. Again, linked in with trust. That links it to trusting the information I receive. I'm actually very, very good at trusting things. If I'm working with other people, when I'm working on workshops, I have complete implicit trust. My issues are trusting when it comes to myself. And that is because, as I say, with those little subconscious nagging thoughts that lead us down the wrong path sometimes. So this is a geometry that I can work with in order to help me develop that trust in myself. And, in particular, I'm going to get this printed out. I'm going to have it up on my wall. And it will just draw that energy into my space here so that I'm always there working with it. I can also sit and meditate with it, focus with my eyes open or closed, imagining that, and just really focus on building that trust within myself. And it can be a really, really powerful tool. And I've had some wonderful feedback from people that I've done soul geometries for, that it's really helped them. The combination of the message and the geometry itself, it really resonates and it really helps them. And that's why I do it. I absolutely love to be able to help people in that way. So there you go. I just wanted to share a little bit about me and my own personal journey where I am right now. Of course, a lot of this is coming up from the eclipse season that we're in, which is drawing up old unresolved patterns. And this may be something that many of you are facing with your own things that haven't quite been resolved from the past and you're working through now. But, it's okay. We're just going through the flow. When I received the message at the beginning of the month for my newsletter, I always tune in when I'm doing a newsletter every month for the energy for the month. And they said that it was a period of uncertainty because of ascension that's happening within our solar system, other planets that are ascending, Earth ascending, still transitioning from that solstice. We're still in a window of time, and there's big waves of energy coming off. Our sun has been letting off huge waves of energy recently, and it's just creating this vibration of turmoil and uncertainty. And I'm sure astronomers out there will probably be far more qualified to know what I'm talking about there, because I know there's a lot of things happening. It's not my area of expertise, but I'm feeling it in the energy. So yeah, that's where I am. That's the soul geometry. I just wanted to say we are still currently running a spring sale on the website. We've got massive offers on loads of things, but that also includes soul geometries. We have a few slots left at a reduced price. They're normally £288. They're currently £222. But there's a limited number of slots. We've got that price, so when they're gone, and it'll go back to full price. So yeah, if it's something you'd be interested in me doing for you, I would absolutely love the opportunity to do so. And I'll include the link down below if you want to check that out. As I say, there's also workshops, prints, mugs, bags, cushions, all sorts of stuff, big discounts on the website. It's all calculated for you automatically at checkout. So yeah, feel free to check it out. But again, I'll just put the general website link down below. Thank you so much for watching today, for allowing me the opportunity to be vulnerable today, and with all you beautiful people, and for giving me the space to do that. Thank you. Sending you all lots of love, and I'll talk to you soon.